Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
We began KYC on Know Your Constitution this week by telling you about Article 19(1)(g) of the Constitution, which guarantees the right to freedom of profession. Clause 1(g) of Article 19 guarantees the freedom to practice any profession or carry on any occupation, trade or business to all citizens. But like other freedoms under Article 19, this one is also subject to certain reasonable restrictions in the interest of general public. For instance, Article 19(6) allows the government to make laws creating state monopolies either partially or completely in respect of any trade, business, industry or service. As to what constitutes profession, occupation or trade, let me give you a few examples. The Supreme Court has held that the right to establish and administer educational institutions falls within Article 19(1)(g). But as far back as 1961, the Allahabad High Court ruled that prostitution cannot be ruled to be a profession, occupation or trade under Article 19(1)(g), and so it is open to the state to ban such activity. The Supreme Court in 1995 held that despite the right guaranteed under Article 19(1)(g), a citizen can never have the fundamental right to do trade or business in liquor. It said that since it is dangerous and inherently harmful, the government can completely prohibit trade or business in liquor. Next, we told you what the Constitution says on contempt of court. Articles 129 and 215 allow the Supreme Court and the High Courts respectively to punish people for contempt of courts. Additionally, Article 19(2) allows the freedom of speech and expression to be restricted on the ground of contempt of court. As to what constitutes contempt, the Contempt of Courts Act 1971 creates two categories of contempt. It says that civil contempt is when someone willfully disobeys any court order or violates any undertaking given in court. The Act defines criminal contempt as publication of anything that lowers the authority of the court, interferes with court proceedings, or obstructs the administration of justice. So, a Kerala politician was held guilty of contempt in 2015 for calling High Court judges idiots. In 1970, former Kerala Chief Minister E.M.S. Namboodiripad was held guilty of contempt after he gave a speech saying that judges were guided and dominated by class interests. In 2017, former Calcutta High Court Judge Justice C.N. Karnan became the first sitting High Court judge to have been awarded a 6-year jail term for contempt of court. He was held guilty after he accused 20 judges of corruption and sentenced 8 Supreme Court judges, including the Chief Justice of India, to 5 years in prison. The Constitution does not expressly talk about the right to privacy, but the Supreme Court in 2017 held it as an integral part of the right to life and liberty under Article 21, putting decades-old arguments to rest. The struggle for declaring privacy as a right actually began way back in 1954 in the MP Sharma case. This case was about the search and seizure of certain documents from some of the group companies of the Dalmia Group, and this search and seizure process itself was challenged in the Supreme Court. While the 8-judge bench upheld the search and seizure process and the powers that come along with it, it ruled that these powers cannot be subjected to a right to privacy. 8 years later, in the 1962 Kharak Singh judgment, another 6-judge bench held that there is no right to privacy in the Indian Constitution. This case was about a challenge to certain surveillance powers that were given to the police, which allowed them to impose travel restrictions, shadow people, and even knock at their doors in the middle of the night to check if those people were home. While the court upheld all the surveillance powers, it struck down the night home visits. The question came up again before the court in 2015 during the Aadhaar case. While the government said that the Constitution did not guarantee any such right, the Supreme Court referred the question to a 9-judge bench to settle the issue once and for all. 2 years later, the bench pronounced an over 500 pages long unanimous decision holding that the Constitution did guarantee a fundamental right to privacy, and it overruled the judgments in MP Sharma and Kharak Singh. Next on KYC, we told you what the Constitution says on forced labor and how the courts have interpreted the provision over the years. Article 23 prohibits bekar and other similar forms of forced labor. Bekar is essentially bonded labor where a person may be forced to work over a period of time without payment of any money whatsoever just to pay off a debt. But the Supreme Court read new life into the provision with its interpretation in PUDR versus Union of India. At the center of this case was the Asian Games Village, built for the Asian Games in 1982. The People's Union for Democratic Rights, that is PUDR, approached the Supreme Court alleging that the contractors were exploiting the workers who were building this complex. So the Supreme Court invoked Article 23, which up until then was a relatively forgotten constitutional provision. Interpreting the word forced used in Article 23, the court ruled that workers can be compelled not just through physical or legal force, but also because of their economic circumstances. So if a worker is starving, he would end up accepting any work that comes his way, even if it pays less than minimum wage. But the court ruled that if the work does pay less than minimum wage, it still amounts to forced labor and thus violates Article 23. So it directed that the workers of Asian Village should be paid at least a minimum wage. This was also one of the first few cases that ushered in the PIL era in India, because the Supreme Court agreed to hear the petition on behalf of the labourers because they could not approach the court themselves. This is Apurva Mandhani for The Print. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook.